You're watching Oilers Nation Everyday with Tyler Yaremchuk. Your one-stop shop for all things Oilers.
Vegas? The goddamn Golden Knights? Let's get into it with the lead. All right, we promised you that we would go live to recap deadline day. So here we are, everybody, live on Oilers Nation Everyday and live from the Sports Closet studio. The trade deadline, as you can see from the mega clock behind me, Liam, deadline season has come and gone for the Edmonton Oilers. And Ken Holland today, he sat on his hands.
Yep, Uncle Kenny didn't get anything else moving for the team. But to his credit, let's not pretend that this man didn't do anything the last couple of days. Okay. Like we all seem to want to, because yesterday we came on the show and everyone was thrilled. Now, all of a sudden, the Oilers are the worst team in the league, it feels like, according to a lot of people.
Yeah. All right. Let's get into things. We're only doing a 30-minute show today. We're gonna still record a new episode of Oilers Nation Radio after this, though, so the content machine isn't stopping. But I wanted to come on here because I haven't talked to you, the Charm Diamond Center's YouTube chat, all day, and I miss you. I loved the audience at Daily Face Off Live. They were amazing. I see a bunch of you in here right now that were watching DFO Live today. But I miss my people. I miss the Oilers fans. So I wanted to connect with everybody here and go through and maybe vent a little bit about how you're feeling. Liam, let's jump right into it with our Sherwood Ford Giant question of the show, brought to you by Sherwood Ford, thegiant.ca. Double game day weekend for the Edmonton Oilers as they got games on Saturday and Sunday. We're never getting a day off. We're going to work every day till we die. But the Oilers play twice this weekend. Shout out Sherwood Ford, the Giant. Your question, Liam.
Yes.
Scale of 1 to 10. How are you ranking Ken Holland's deadline season? Deadline season from 1 to 10. 10 being A+, I love him, kisses. Mwah, Ken. 1 being fire him tomorrow, Jeff.
Well, I have been at 1 this season.
You have been. You've been walked off that ledge.
I will give him a 7. I think a 7 out of 10 is fair for Ken Holland. He added 3 pieces. Yes, it's very clear that there is one spot on this team that needed to be upgraded, and it was probably adding a different defenseman outside of Cody Ceci. My argument will be, and has been for the last maybe week or two, who did you want? They tried to get Tanev. Calgary said no. Walker wasn't what they needed.
Nope.
And it clearly the Nashville Predators weren't selling. Who is next? Joel Edmondson? Like, what's the, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, you may as well just keep Ceci at that point, and I get it. But 7 out of 10 is good. You get a versatile player in Adam Henrique, who has, by the way, more points than Tyler Toffoli this season. He can play center, play on the wing. I think this team's going to be completely fine. People are saying Nick Jensen. Was he really that available? Someone Frank's list.
Washington didn't even trade Pacioretty.
I just don't think as many people were available as we all seem to think there could have been. I think what Holland did was perfectly fine. Sure, it's disappointing to see what the Tomas Hertls did. The Vegas Golden Knights did getting Tomas Hertl, but like, it is what it is. The Oilers didn't have an extra $9 million in cap space because one of their best players went on LTIR.
So what's your number?
7.
I'm going to be lower than you.
What are you, a 6?
I'm a 4.9.
4 point. Oh, just pick a solid number. Just say 5.
I wanted to come in. So I was going to say 5, but then I was thinking through what the words that would come out of my mouth in my defense of my number. And I love, somewhere between like and love, the moves he did make.
Yeah.
Adam Henrique, the value they got in that deal, Henrique, high-end rental. Okay, you have to part with your first, and I give him credit for only giving up the 1st, a 4th, and a 5th, getting the money retained twice, and then saying, hey, I want the 7th, and I want Sam Carrick. It's like, okay, you found a way to extract as much value out of a trade for a rental as you could. Good trade. An A grade for me.
This trade is an A grade.
Okay. Troy Stetcher. Love it. Good deal. Again, as much as you can love a 7th defenseman.
Yeah.
I like what Ken Holland did there. I know Davinson, Tyler's thinking I need some clickbait for the socials. No, because let me explain. As much as I love what Ken Holland did, I hate what he didn't do.
So what didn't he do?
I said at the beginning of deadline season, 3 ads. You need an A ad, a B ad, and a C ad. If your A-ad's going to be on the blue line, you need to get a B-level winger and a C-level depth piece. If your A-ad's up front, you need to make either a second big forward ad and then shore up the D on defense and say you're going all in with forwards. In my opinion, they got an A-ad in Henrique. You did that. That is good. I like that. Carrick and Stetcher, Stetcher's a C. Carrick's a D, maybe a C.
I would say they're both C's.
There was no B ad.
Corey Perry?
No, don't care. You got him for free. That's found money. Okay. You don't get to use. I don't think you can use that as a deadline ad. He fell into your lap. That's gravy for me.
Okay.
And also Corey Perry is a bottom 6 winger. I don't think he's a B ad. I'm sitting here, and part of my frustration and the reason I go with 4.9, and maybe I'm being too hard on him. Okay, and I'll have another counterpoint on this to myself in a second. Vegas goes out and they get a B, and they get an A. Then they go get an A+, and they just go and go and go. And what does Winnipeg do? They go and get 2 A's, right?
Yeah.
And it's just, and I know, okay, LA did nothing. Sure. Vancouver, though, went out and got their A, went out and got their B in Zadorov. Colorado, what did they do? They went out and got really their A in Middlestat, because that's a big piece for them. They go and get a B/ and I use a B in Sean Walker. And then they went out and got their C in Yakov Trenin. And then they went out and got a C in Brandon Duhaime, who's probably a higher end C if you're grading out the quality of player. Like, they added and added and added and added. Dallas went out, got their A. Their roster's so damn good, they didn't need to do anything. Who are we kidding? That forward group is so good, and they have Stankoven now. Like, Dallas was fine. But I just look around the West at this arms race that happened over the last, call it 6 months, I guess. The Oilers did not do as much as the teams around them. And I think Oilers fans have every right to be frustrated with that playing out. This is not a year where you needed to sit there and say, I'll save my first. Why couldn't you go? If a second and a third is going for Toffoli, I get it. Dealing for rentals, you already got one, whatever. At some point, do what Vegas does and say F it.
Yeah,
when do we get to be that team? When do we get to have that moment as a fan base?
We got Ekholm last year.
One move.
He was the best player
but that wasn't an effort. That they gave up a decent amount for Ekholm.
They gave up their one of their top prospects, a first-round pick, their quarterback to their power play, and whatever. What was the other one? Third, whatever it was.
But again, it was
got the best player available.
It was the one move. Vegas went on and did 3.
Yeah, like Vegas went.
And again, like this year, in the moment, do you not think there was more for Ken Holland that he could have done?
Yeah, I do. That's why I left room for the 3 points that I didn't get.
So you think 4.9 is too harsh?
I don't think it was a perfect deadline by any means. I don't even think saying a 5 is like too difficult to say either. Yeah. But like, I don't know, like this team won 16 in a row. They won 8 in a row. They won 5 in a row. We're just sitting here acting like this team is dog shit.
I'm not acting like this team's dog shit.
But just like a lot of people, it's just like, this team's really good. The Oilers are a very good team.
Yeah.
No doubt flaws. But they've also beat Dallas this season. They've beat Winnipeg this season. They've beat Vegas this season. They beat all these teams that everyone just seems to think they're significantly worse than. The Oilers are a very good hockey team. And just because they didn't replace Cody Ceci doesn't mean they're not great anymore. You know what I mean? Like, just because if they didn't lose last night, I bet we're all having a completely different conversation today. I honestly, truly believe that. We're just riding the waves of the emotions of this team. I would have loved to add in a Jordan Eberle, a Toffoli, or something like that. I think they probably needed to do that.
Yeah.
But Jordan Eberle re-signed. It's not like someone else went and got him. Tyler Toffoli would have been a great ad. Don't get me wrong.
And they didn't give up a lot for him, which is where my frustration comes in. That wasn't an exorbitant price to pay. Okay, I want to come onto your side a little bit. Someone said we're getting heated, so we'll team up a little bit.
I'm ready.
You're ready to go.
I got another show to do in 20 minutes, so the same arguments.
Okay, so let me just go into some of these messages, okay? Mad Rock. Face it, 29 is not re-signing back to the Oilers. Dumb. B-Max, love you. You watch the show every day. Edmonton first-round exit confirmed. Dumb. Steve Faccio, brutal moves, better to do nothing. And again, I'm not calling these people dumb. I'm just saying these reactions are just, they're too far skewed the other way. Maybe I should be nicer. I'm sorry. But like, Steve, brutal moves, better to do nothing. Come on. Come on. I'm fully on board with giving Ken Holland credit for what he did do. I just would have liked to see just
push, a little more of a push.
Just like fair. I want this team to be so painfully all in. Vegas doesn't have a first round pick until for 3 years, 2028 or some shit like that. Like, that's a team that is sitting there going, our sole mission is to win a Stanley Cup. And
I agree.
And on one end, I know you keep an eye on the forward. Sure, great, fine. But I just wanted to see this team put their foot down and say, this is our year no matter what. We're going to be the team to beat. And right now, I think when you look at the West, they're very clearly not the team to beat right now. They're still a damn good team. I still think they could probably beat Vegas in round one.
I don't think Vegas is going to be playing Edmonton in round one.
Vegas might not. They might be a wild card.
By the way, everyone, Vegas is 8th in the Western Conference.
They kind of needed to do this.
Their next 3 games, vital. Detroit, Seattle, Calgary.
Yep.
They're in a playoff race to be in the playoffs. The Oilers are in a race to win the division.
It's a fair point.
Like I just think that like we're overreacting a little bit.
Yep.
Last season, when Washington won the cup, who was that guy? They got?
Nick Jensen.
Michael Kempney.
Oh yeah, sorry, Kempney. Yeah. Came out of nowhere.
Yeah, like things are gonna happen. Guys are gonna catch fire for this team. The Oilers are arguably a better team last season heading into the playoffs than they are this season heading into the playoffs. And they lost in round 2.
Rusty says,
maybe Vegas is better too. So.
Rusty says, I'm telling you, all the other Western Conference teams are trying to catch the Oilers. They're not.
Everyone's just competing against each other. Like, all these teams are unreal.
Everyone's trying to catch each other, yes. But like we can't sit here and pretend that the Oilers are the Oilers. Other teams are maybe scared of Connor McDavid.
I think that's a layer of this, or I'll forget it.
Yeah,
the Oilers might have 2 of the 3 of the best players in the Western Conference.
Yeah, they might. But I think, when you look at who teams are competing and chasing, Vegas is the team. They won the Stanley Cup last year. Colorado's got a ring, and Colorado's got the best defenseman in the NHL, probably the best defenseman we've seen in 20 plus years in the NHL.
McCaw,
Cale McCarr,
right
high-end support pieces with Rantanen, might get Landeskog back. Taves is a high-end defensive defenseman. Like, they got horses there. To sit there and say that the Oilers are a team that everyone else is shaking in their boots having to play in round one, I think that's a stretch. I really, really do. And again, I don't take this the wrong way. I still really believe in this team. They are a damn good hockey team, and Henrique and Carrick make them deep. And when you bring back up Dylan Holloway, if you actually trust them, I think you're on the cusp of having 4 lines that can score. That's awesome. The blue line has some really good pieces. Darnell Nurse is having a bounce back year. Evan Bouchard's having a breakout explosion year, and Matthias Ekholm is an absolute dog and the kind of defenseman you win a Stanley Cup with on your top pairing. Okay. Stuart Skinner, capable of stealing you hockey games. Again, last year's playoffs didn't go well. I'm willing to forgive a guy for crumbling a bit in his first ever playoffs. That's fine. I still believe in Stuart Skinner's goalie. They have a lot of the pieces. You know who else had all the pieces? Winnipeg. That forward group was so damn good coming into today. And Kevin Cheveldayoff, who is notoriously a timid GM, just put his foot down and said, no, Hellebuck, Scheifele, you guys committed to me. Here's my reward to you, Tyler Toffoli. And you didn't have to part with a first-round pick to get him. I look at, like, that's the one I'm really, really kicking myself for, is the fact that the Jets are sitting here. Added Monahan, added Toffoli, nothing from that roster out the door. And it's like, oh, man.
Yeah.
I wanted to come away, and again, 4.9, as I'm talking more, it's harsh. I get that. It's harsh. I just so badly wanted to come away from today and go, like, hell yes. Ken Holland in his final GM did the thing and left us without a shadow of a doubt that this team is in their Stanley Cup window and is ready to contend. Lance, I'm not overreacting. Come on. I wanted to feel that way after today. And I think in year 9, whatever it is with Connor McDavid, we deserved to have that deadline where it's like move after move. The Oilers are gunning for it this year.
I'm with you. Like, I do agree with that 100%. And the Winnipeg additions, like you said, Cheveldayoff, maybe not the most aggressive GM, and he goes out and gets a couple of guys who make them better. But I don't know. I still like this Oilers team. I think the forward group is as deep as we've seen it during Holland's era. Yeah. Like right now, we have a first-round pick sitting in Bakersfield next to Lavoie, who's played games in the NHL. And I know kind of digging deep on that a little bit, but I still like this group a lot. The lines were different today. That second line is back with Fogle, McLeod, and what's his name? Leon Draisaitl. You may have heard of him. They were one of the best lines in the league when they were together during that stretch, right? So, You have the top line going. Hopefully that second line can form some chemistry again. Then your third line is Evander Kane, Adam Henrique, and Corey Perry. Like, I think people are overshadowing what this depth has done this last little bit. Corey Perry, big goal last night. Ryan McLeod, although they dominated the Pittsburgh Penguins, was a big part of that win. Brett Kulak scored against Seattle to help them win that game. Like, this team isn't just Connor McDavid and Draisaitl anymore. This team deserves more credit for what they are. And you look at the Winnipeg Jets, obviously a very good team, but Toffoli's going to replace Nemestikov or Alex Iafallo. It's not like they had like two studs just waiting there, you know what I mean? Like, they really, really needed to press that. Like, the Oilers probably have, 5 of the top 6. That was pretty good. Obviously, Adam Eberle would have made him way better, but I don't know. I think this team's way better than anyone wants to act like today. Most people. Lance, I see you. Ryan, S. Aaron. Probably someone else. My dad, I would assume, is watching. Shout out, Dad. Tyler.
Again, man,
well, let's talk about some of the other trades that happened.
Well, again, okay, so here, let me just say this. If you're ranking which fan bases should be the most disappointed, because again, I'm disappointed. I'm not going to hide how I feel about this deadline.
That's fine.
I came into today going, get Eberle, and if you don't get Eberle, go get another winger. I like the price Tampa paid for Duclair last night. I thought that was a third.
Didn't they trade a prospect too?
I don't think it was substantial.
Yeah, he's like a 26. So Stephen Ellis liked him. So
okay, well, shout out to Stephen Ellis. Okay, but the other fan bases who should be playoff teams who should be disappointed in what they did today, the LA Kings fans should be a million miles more disappointed than the Edmonton Oilers.
100%.
Them not doing anything is mind numbing, especially if you're Rob Blake and you fired your coach.
Yeah, you'd think you'd be just like, I don't care.
Yep.
And Holland could have that similar approach since he's likely done this season. That's fair too.
I think Rangers fans should be incredibly disappointed. The Islanders didn't do anything, and they're right on the bubble, and Lou keeps saying they're going to win. So Islanders fans, I think, should be disappointed. I think Red Wings fans should be disappointed. I think Leafs fans should be incredibly disappointed. I think Bruins fans should be incredibly disappointed. So again, out of the, let's just, for simplicity's sake, call it 20 teams who are in the hunt for the Stanley Cup playoffs, I think Kraken fans could be a little disappointed they didn't sell more. I think you had to pick a side, but regardless.
Yeah, you can't just sit in the middle.
Let's call it 20 teams in the Stanley Cup picture, or in the playoff picture. 7 fan bases have every right to be more disappointed, more frustrated than Oilers fans are right now. I don't know why so many of our regulars are pushing back on me on this. Why do we care about the first round pick in 2025?
I don't care about those at all.
So why are we not spending it? Like, I just want this team. I wanted to walk away from today going without a shadow of a doubt, the Oilers have filled their holes. And I can't honestly say that. I love Adam Henrique. I think he's going to do great things for this forward group. Sam Carrick is an upgrade on what they were rolling out in the bottom 6. Boom, boom. Great moves. Troy Stetcher, he might surpass Vinny Desharnais as your 6, and he might be damn good in that role. Mm-hmm. I like what Ken Holland did. I'm just not thrilled that there wasn't the boom, put it over the top move, because I think this team has the ability to be so special that they deserved a boom over the top move. And I'm not trying to be clickbaity. If I wanted to be clickbaity, I'd sit here and tell you Ken Holland should be fired tomorrow and blah, blah, blah. I'm not. You guys know I don't really do that. I just think Oilers fans as a whole deserve to be a little bit disappointed in the way today played out. Stanley Cup window, deadline day, Ken Holland sat on his hands in the final few hours.
I think the one thing that was interesting to me, and I know salary caps played into this a little bit, but the way Arizona just kind of moved on from just that money for like basically nothing on like Dumba and Zucker was interesting. And I think it adds another layer of like fan bases being disappointed with everything, but also like sometimes making these big splashes doesn't mean you win the Stanley Cup. And obviously adding to your team makes you way better.
And I do love that you said that. Boston last year.
I was going to say the Bruins, here's a fun fact. Yeah, I said it on the show. When the Oilers had won 16 in a row, if they had won every single game the rest of the season, they still wouldn't have matched what the Bruins did last season. The Boston Bruins lost in the first round. Like, who knows what's going to happen? The Stanley Cup playoffs are crazy. So I'm not all about these big moves all the time that you have to put you over the edge. I still like this team. I'm not going to discredit the Corey Perry ad. I think that's been very valuable to this team. Someone said in the After Dark last night with Aaron and I, if he had played full day 82, he's on pace for 24 goals this season. That guy's going to be big for you in the playoffs. As big as whatever Tyler Foley could be for Winnipeg, I bet. I'll be honest.
Corey Perry?
I think he can play as just as big as a role, maybe slightly different, but I bet he chips in with a lot of big moments in the playoffs for this team. He's not Tyler Toffoli.
He's not a play driver. Even if he scores a couple of big goals, he's not going to drive play.
But you don't need him to. You need him scoring goals if you skate around 5 guys or you tap it in on the goal line are exactly the same. So I think he's just going to be as valuable. Again, like this team, I'm going to give him Ken Holland a 7 out of 10. I agree with you saying I would have liked him to have made one move today, whether I've been a forward, top 6 forward, like the speculation over Eberle, or maybe even add in, like, Winnipeg added Colin Miller. I like Colin Miller. Yeah. He would have been a good add too, but I'm fine with what happened today. We'll kind of see what continues to happen here.
All right, let's get into the Charm Diamond Center's YouTube chat a little bit more. It's brought to you by our friends at charmdiamondcenters.com. Canadian owned and operated since 1972 with more than 85 locations across the country through Charm and their sister brands. Get a custom ring built and delivered in less than 4 weeks with the Charm Masterpiece program and an unbeatable pricing policy. All right, let's go. Steve says I give Holland a 7. Maybe I come up a bit because again, 4.9 is harsh. I'll come up to a 5. I'll come up to a 5.7.
You can say 4.9.
No, because he didn't fail. Holland didn't fail at this deadline.
That's why 6.0.
He just underwhelmed.
That's why I thought you were giving him a 4.9. As someone who aimed for 50s in high school, I'm well aware what the fail mark is.
Yeah. Okay. I'll go up a little. I'll go up to a 5.5. All right. What else do we got here? Dangerous Wade says both things can be true. Would have liked another move. Be happy with what's done. Overall, we did well.
Yeah, I think that's
sure.
A very good way to summarize it.
Henrique helps, but again, Carrick can help in his role.
I liked his fight last night.
I liked his tilt. Stetcher can help in his role when he'll be called upon. I sit here, I go, there's one guy who has a chance to make a significant impact on this team. It's Henrique. Like, that was the ad. It's just, I love him, and I like that play. I agree. The versatility, it's an A move. Don't want people to get that twisted. Owen says anything can happen in the playoffs. They already have an awesome top 9. Henrique makes them better. They have depth. This is why the games are played cup year. Yeah. Hey, and that's another good thing too. Again, you can't get too hung up on the deadline because every year this happens. And here's the thing about hockey. One player very, very rarely changes things that far. Well, I shouldn't say that. Goaltending changes things that far.
Yeah.
And then that's kind of about it.
Yeah. I'm curious. I'm very curious about this last one. We have 20. No one has more than 25 games left, I would assume.
Yeah.
It's going to be a crazy little stretch here. The West has become a bit more open than I think. What was it? Ultimately, I think Vegas will make the playoffs. There is no doubt about that.
Yeah.
But I would say there is doubt about that. But there's a race now. There's a reason St. Louis didn't trade Pavel Buchnevich today. Probably because they think they might be able to catch Vegas a little bit here and Nashville, whoever it may be. I'm curious.
Let's talk a little bit about the Vegas Golden Knights. Let's go around the rest of the league and the Pacific Division. We're going to have to rattle through a couple of sponsor segments here as well, but let's go around the league, and it is brought to you by Snow Valley Aerial Park and the Rainbow Valley Campground. Fun in summer fun. Family fun in the summer, all summer long. I think that's the way I'm supposed to say that. As you can tell, I've been talking a lot today. Snow Valley Aerial Park opens up May 31st. There's also the Rainbow Valley Campground. You can find out more at rainbow-valley.com. Liam, the Vegas Golden Knights go full-on stunner mode.
Oh, great. And the Bob father announces it.
The fact that Bob McKenzie slides in and just goes, oh, hey, as he's on his way to semi-retirement, just goes, I got this one, dribbles through the legs, boom, from the logo, pulls up and drains it. That Tomas Hertl trade is bananas. Yeah. And like Vegas, how do they keep doing this? Tomas Hertl, legit top-line player. They get 2/3 somehow in the deal. They get San Jose to pick up money, and they give up basically 2 firsts. Edstrom was a first-round pick.
Yeah.
But like, Liam, 2 firsts for 6 years of Hertl at $6.75 million, and you get 2/3. Who's letting them get away with this?
You know, the craziest thing is when they ultimately trade Hertl in the summer for a 7th, and it's like, that never happened. This is what they're just ruthless, right? Like Vegas is ruthless, and this deal had everybody stunned. And I mean, I don't really know what to say. Like, yeah, they got way better with this trade, but just a stunner.
If you want to go back, look at whatever the timestamps would be on when this first got reported, then go watch the Daily Face-Off stream. I was waiting for Frank to give me confirmation, but I obviously saw like a bunch of tweets popping up that this could be happening. And my face was just, I mean, Aaron, you would have seen it.
Your jaw was on the floor, and I kept pointing out to the boys behind. I was like, I think Tyler just saw something. I just saw something. You just looked stunned all over. And then I checked Twitter. It was like, oh no. Say it isn't so.
This
Please,
isn't good.
no.
This is not good, but yeah,
I really thought we were getting out of it after I saw like Buchnevich's name just sat there for so long.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, Vegas didn't add any more. We're good. And then Tomas Hertl out of nowhere from the top rope.
Yeah. Can I give you keep in mind, I am not an insider. I have no inside information. This is just me speculating on the things that pop into my brain as they do.
Mm-hmm.
They've added a lot of cap for next year, and they want to get Hanifin signed too.
Yeah, they would. So today, if they would sign Hanifin, I think there's speculation of around $7 million.
Yeah,
their cap hit is $30 million on defense alone. Kind of nuts.
So yeah. I'm just gonna put this out there, and I have no basis for it. But you've now brought on $6 million of Hertl. You want to extend Hanifin as a part of this deal. I wonder if this Stone thing isn't worse than they're letting on.
I think it's really bad.
Like, I'm not talking just out for the playoffs.
I mean, hey, his injury is no joke, because much as like we've kind of speculated on them cheating and everything. It's like, this is a very serious injury this guy has. And hey, like if he's back game 1 of the playoffs, I will take this all back. But like 3 months is a minimum. Like he might just miss the playoffs.
He might
just, I don't think he's getting healthier. You know what I mean? And I think that's what you're leading on to as well.
Yeah. Dacky says, I think Hertl is there to replace Stone, unfortunately. I mean, and it's fortunately, actually, not unfortunately, it's fortunately for Oilers fans that Hertl is, I think he's Stone's replacement. I just don't think I don't think you do that unless you have some bad news on Mark Stone for me. That's just, but credit to Vegas. That is not a name. And Frank even admitted it. Frank's as plugged in as anybody. Frank's like, no one heard about this.
Frank's face looked just like yours when
they're all stunned.
Wild, man. It's insane.
Vegas.
Yeah. Classic Vegas. All right, we got a couple more minutes to go here on the show. We're just doing a quick 30-minute show. Then we're going to go record a new episode of Oilers Nation Radio with Bag Milk and Nation Dan. Usually, Liam, it's the time of the show where we do our mock trade for Service Credit Union and the Service Big Share Contest. Oh, what? You got some?
I'm looking on Cap Friendly, and I'm trying to figure this. They must have. The Vegas Golden Knights have 10 forwards on their roster right now.
Yeah, well, they'll just play. Like my beer league team played with 8 last night, or 8 skaters. Vegas could do it.
They have 10 forwards, 7 defensemen, and 200,000 in cap space. Interesting.
Also, I just want to throw this out there because I saw Dmitry Filipovich sent it out. The Tampa Bay Lightning have 6 total 7th-round picks in the next 2 drafts.
I saw that.
I'm just going to come out right now. One of them will be a perennial all-star.
And somebody who tweeted that, sorry?
Dmitry Filipovich,
like,
PDO cast.
What are they doing over there in Tampa Bay?
What are they cooking? What do they know that we don't? To be fair, Ken Holland has also been stockpiling 7th-rounders.
What does he know? What is Kenny cooking?
What's going on with all these? Look at this. Next 3 years: 1 first, 2 seconds, 2 thirds, 3 fourths, 3 fifths, 3 sixths, 7 7th-rounders in the next 3 drafts. Why do you want that?
That's a lot of Vinny DeHarnais, right?
Yeah. Who did Tampa got Palat in the 7th, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's who they got.
All right. Usually at this time of the show, we're talking about mock trades for our friends at Service Credit Union because the trades are fake, but what you can win is real with the Service Big Share Contest. It's back for a 6th year. It's your chance to win $1 million just by saving money. Anyone can enter by becoming a member and saving with Service. Every $500 saved gets you 5 entries into the Service Big Share Contest. Transfer your existing savings to Service for your chances to win $1 million. Contest ends April 30th, 2024. Skill test required. For rules, visit service.ca/win. Liam, your favorite real trade that happened today. Which GM do you think did the best in a single transaction?
Oh, well, I will give credit to Sheffield Dayoff. I thought the Toffoli trade was really good. Let's have a quick peek through here.
So just again, a couple of moves that happened before the Hertl swap. You had Colin Miller going to New Jersey. The Leafs picked up Connor Dewar. I'll say this. I really like the value if you want to talk about what you save in a contract, or in a trade, shout out to Service. Tampa Bay just sitting there at the end going, hey, we got this Sergachev LTIR space.
I was thinking
you
that.
Can't take it with you. Dumba and a 7th. All we give up is a 5th. Now we have insurance on our blue line. Yeah. I think Dumba's a guy who can thrive in that Tampa Bay system.
Yeah, I actually was looking at that. I'm going to give another one to I'd like the Jason Zucker trade. 6th round pick.
You got the money, use it.
Just use it. And I've said on this show, I don't think we should underestimate what Nashville are. They added a few more goals to their lineup, a place that they needed some help in. So I liked that what Nashville did today as they climbed over the Vegas Golden Knights last night.
Yeah, big win.
My dad and I were talking. I know we got to go. Like, what was the best case scenario for the Oilers last night? Vegas lose or Vancouver lose? Like, I don't know. Like,
not in overtime.
That's what I said. I was like, just don't let them both get a point.
Yeah. All right. There you go. Shout out to our friends at Service Credit Union for that one. We're going to wrap up the show here in just a second. A quick edition of the show. I'll be just totally honest with you guys. I'm gassed.
You worked hard.
That was a lot. There's a lot going on.
A long time for both of us to not go to the bathroom.
Yeah, that too. Shout out to our friends at Douglas Mattress. The Oilers played last night. No moment of the game for Douglas Mattress. Douglas.ca/OilersNation. Give them an order. Also, ton of great bonuses lined up now. Support a good Edmonton company with Douglas.
I'll say the fight.
I'll say Corey Perry scoring too.
Yeah.
Give him hope.
Specifically in the fight where he knocked off his helmet, because the rest of it wasn't that good for him.
My favorite part of the fight was actually right before the fight. When he dropped his stick, it was like, let's go. Then he was like, oh wait, we can't go yet. Like, I had to pick up his stick. That was really, really good. That's
the best debut for a fourth liner you can do in a new room. He played 7 minutes and 30 seconds. I remember his debut.
Yeah. Big shout out to Star Mechanical for the guest line. No guest today. Again, just doing a quick edition of the show. Our friends at Betway as well. Missed on my bet last night. That was too bad.
I had Zach Hyman goal.
Really? Oh, you did. You sneaky devil, you.
You would have thought the 43 goal man would have had another one.
Yeah, that's good value. That is good value. We'll have a full run of shows back next week on the program.
God damn it, Frank.
Frank, shut up. Frank, if you're watching, these tweets aren't helping. Frank Cervalli. By the way, the Golden Knights still have their 2024 first round pick.
We know that.
How are we letting them do this as a society?
I don't know.
Society's moved past the need for the Vegas Golden Knights.
Can I say one thing? I know we're at the end of it.
Yeah.
But the trade deadline is a crazy little place leading up to it. Because boy, oh boy, every team has to trade away every first round pick, every prospect they have. Everything has to go out of the door. And then all of a sudden you say in the Vegas Golden Knights still have a first round pick this year. The Carolina Hurricanes go out and get Jake Gensel. Don't trade one of their top 4 or 5 prospects.
Next deadline,
Tyler Foley goes for a second round pick. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. We gotta chill out, people. Tyler Tullio is more likely to get traded than Dylan Holloway at this rate for any trade like next season.
Man, I am never believing the whole this team wants multiple premium assets for this player again. They traded away Jake Gensel. If Jake Gensel's $1, they traded him away for a collection of dimes and nickels.
They did.
Who the fuck are these?
It's funny
because Cruz Lucius isn't a person.
His name. I know his brother. We have Stephen Ellis on the Daily Faceoff Trade Deadline show with us every year.
Yep.
And he never makes an appearance.
He made one this year.
He made one this year from this trade. And that's it. Well, next year we might just tell him to have the day off. There's no point. He can do his pre-recorded videos, and then that's the best we need from him.
Yeah.
I love Steven. Don't get me wrong. He does a fantastic job, but there's no point in wasting time here.
Yeah. Someone, Mick Diesel said, wasn't Gensel injured? He'll be back in like a week. So whatever. Cruz Lucius is Aaron's stripper name.
Whoa, who told you? Keep that in the bag, bro.
All right. That is a wrap on today's edition of the show. Good work today, gentlemen. A quick edition. Aaron and I are right back at it. 9:30 a.m. pre-gaming with Portsy tomorrow.
I'm making a Caesar live on the air.
I respect the hell out of that. I'm gonna have beers tonight. That is for sure.
I had one right after we finished the last one. Great work today.
Yeah, thank you, buddy. I'm gonna have a brewski while we do Oilers Nation Radio. I think they'll take the edge off a little. Give me a bit of a boost, you know, Liam?
Yeah, big win in the Briar for Alberta, by the way. Sorry for anyone who's
Botch is back in the mix.
Botcha won.
Not a boy.
Botch is moving on.
Oh yeah, Botch. That makes me feel better about the Oilers deadline.
There you go. A good local boy.
Ty, you perked up a little bit as we went along here.
A little bit. I going through a bit of a roller coaster.
You need to sleep on it. You need to sleep on it. I'll ask you tomorrow what your grade is.
Yeah, we'll redo it tomorrow. Yeah. I'm kind of a little pissed off about the game last night still. Yep. I know Matheson and Spector were just like all over me yesterday.
I saw Matheson. I didn't see Spec.
The Spector just basically tweeted me and was like, calm down. I was like, no, they just lost to Columbus. Why are fans not more mad about this?
Columbus, like, not good by any means, but underappreciated.
They beat Vegas 6-3.
They suck. The Oilers should have steamrolled them. Anyway.
They knocked off the Rangers. 10-game win streak. Too.
God, the Oilers played bad last night.
Yeah. Oh, they were terrible. Don't get me wrong.
Terrible.
Yeah, they were.
David was my cold performer. Yeah, it's tough.
All
right.
They should beat the hell out of Buffalo tomorrow, though, right, Liam?
Damn straight.
Lay the boots
to
them.
Who's scoring tomorrow? Henrique, Carrick, and Troy Stetcher. And Tyler Toffoli and Tomas Hertl aren't scoring for till next week.
Till Monday.
All right. Thanks for tuning in to everybody. Shout out to our friends at Sherwood Ford, the Giant, and Sports Closet. Have a great weekend. We'll see you with pre-gaming tomorrow and on Sunday. And then this show back Monday. Chat then.
Thank you for watching Oilers Nation Every Day. Hit the subscribe button to never miss a show. And for more, visit OilersNation.com.